Hey everybody, Jerry here from Android Central, and we're going to teach everybody how to cheat at benchmarks on Android. We've got a reason for this, and we'll explain it all in the blog post, but I need a visual representation of what we're doing, so we're going to do it. I've got out the old HTC Hero because it makes the most dramatic example, and I love the Hero. And we're going to use Quadrant because it is the easiest to manipulate. But do not be fooled, they all can be manipulated because they're just an app. We're not actually benching hardware, we're benching the way the software interacts with the hardware. And until you have all kinds of real equipment, that's the only thing you can do. And anytime, let's get this started, anytime you enter software into the mix, you can manipulate it. We've learned that, with all the hacks and the custom ROMs. If it's code, somebody can change it, and lots of people do. But we're going to show you all a really easy example. You can see that the Hero's just chugging along here, taking its sweet time. Breaks my heart. It's funny to believe that not too awful long ago, this was one of the highest spec phones on the market. Look how far we've come. One thing to notice, it's doing the I/O test now, right there. Notice how long they take. Because that's the part we're going to really manipulate the most, because it's the easiest and provides the most dramatic results. So it's just about finished with the I/O tests, and yes, horrible frame rates. I think it's a testament that the phone will even run this kind of thing, compared to what we use today. But, hey, 17 frames per second is better than nothing, so I'm not going to complain. I still love the Hero. Not because it's so fast, but because it feels so good in my hands and fits so good in my pocket. Get through the planets here and the DNA, and we'll be on our way to the fun part, but we have to sit through and watch this. Just so you can see that it's not a real performance increase. So let's get down here. You see your device 246. The important score we want to look at down here in the bottom is 226 for the input-output, the I/O. Let's mess with that, shall we? Let's go the whole way back out of here and go to our terminal. I'm using Linux, that's what I use. This works on Windows, Mac, whatever. You just need to hook your phone up, get into the shell, and with one easy command, and don't worry, I'll write this command down in the blog post so you all can easily do this, and we'll paste it in there and we'll run it. Now we go back to the Hero here. The next thing we want to do is fire up set CPU. If you've got any type of overclocked kernel, you want to make sure the max speed is the whole way up, and you want to make sure your governor is set to performance. Performance means it can't drop below the maximum you have set. That's cheat number one. Cheat number two is I'm going to use system panel. We're going to end everything. We want to end all the background tasks. Give it a second. There we go. It's ending everything. Let it go for a little bit. Now we want to fire Quadrant back up. Yes, it did end everything, or we wouldn't have got that again. Now we want to run the benchmark again. We're going to see a little bit higher CPU times, not much, because there's not really much you can do. We cranked the overclocking way up, started up set CPU, so those scores are going to be a little bit better. Memory's going to stay the same. We can't really manipulate the speed of the RAM itself. But watch when we get to the I/O scores. It's not going to blow through them because, it's the Hero. But it's going to go through them a whole lot faster than it did, and we'll have the proof here in a minute. Now we get to the 2D and 3D tests. Come on, little buddy. You can do it. There's that one. And these scores will also be a little bit higher because we're running the CPU at a higher clock speed. If you really get in there on some phones, you can monkey with the GPU acceleration as well. Especially if, there's software that's causing, frame rate caps or whatever. But for the most part, the GPU is you're not going to be able to monkey with it. Let's let it go here. All we've got to do is the DNA, and then we get to look at the proof in the pudding, as it were. Come on, you can do it, hero. There we go. Now let's see what we get this time. Your device, 694. A little bit faster than the original stock Nexus 1. Well, I don't believe that. Notice the green portion. That's the input-output. Notice how big it is. Let's get down here to the bottom. We went from about 200 to 2500. Yeah, that's going to make a big difference. Now, people that, like to monkey with things, they're not going to use Quadrant Advanced. Because as soon as you see any green bar that long, that means that the file system has been manipulated with, and that's how the scores are getting inflated. They're going to use normal Quadrant, and it's going to be just an orange line. But you can pretty much bet that if somebody shows you a benchmark score that you don't quite believe, you probably shouldn't believe it. Like I said, we'll go over all this in the post. I just wanted to show you guys a quick example of the easiest way to cheat. You all think about that for a while. I'll holler at you.